There are three main types of dust you'll find on a construction site. Silica dust from materials like concrete, mortar and sandstone, wood dust from wood and wood-based products, and lower toxicity dusts from materials like plasterboard, limestone and dolomite. These dusts are potentially very harmful. Amongst other things, they're linked to lung cancer, silicosis, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease and asthma. Working with dust is covered under the COSH regulations, so you and your employer must assess the risks, control the risks, and then review those controls to make sure they are adequate. When assessing the risks, think about the task. High-energy tools, cutting and grinding can produce a lot of dust in a very short space of time. Think about your work area. Never assume that doing a job outside is less risky. You can potentially be exposed to as much dust outside as inside, depending on the job. So think about how long it will take. The more time it takes to do the job, the greater the risk of exposure. And how frequently is someone doing the job? The more often the job is done, the greater the risk. There are several ways to control the amount of dust you're exposed to. There is on-tool extraction, a built-in extraction which removes the dust as it's being produced. There are local exhaust ventilation systems that fit onto the tool. These systems usually consist of the capturing hood, an extraction unit, and tubing. It must have a filter fitted that's suitable for extracting construction dust, such as a HEPA filter. It's important you use the correct specification of extraction tool for the job. They're rated low, medium or high. In the construction industry, the minimum requirement is medium. Water suppression is a very effective way of reducing the amount of dust produced. Here you can see the difference in the amount of dust produced with and without water suppression. But it's not enough to just wet the material before beginning work. You must constantly apply the right amount of water throughout. These methods alone are often not enough to eliminate the risk altogether, and suitable respiratory protection equipment should be provided and used whenever you're potentially exposed to dust. RPE has an assigned protection factor, which shows how much protection it gives the wearer. The best level of protection is FFP3. The RPE must also be suitable for the work being done. Disposable masks or half masks can become uncomfortable to wear for long periods. Powered RPE helps minimize this. Consider using powered RPE when people are working for more than an hour without a break. The RPE must fit the user properly, and anyone using a tight-fitting mask must be clean-shaven. A face-fitting test must be performed to make sure the mask fits and is being worn properly. Only a trained and competent person can undertake this task. Finally, you must review the controls you've put in place. Don't just assume the controls are working. It's often a good idea to discuss the project with those doing the work to find out what the problems really are and what solutions might work. If the work still seems dusty, you may need to carry out dust exposure monitoring. And of course, maintain and clean the RPE equipment properly. Check for signs of damage. Use and replace disposable masks in line with manufacturers' recommendations, and always change filters according to manufacturers' guidelines. Carry out a thorough examination and test of any on-tool extraction system at least once every 14 months. Exposure to dust on construction sites can result in life-threatening disease. It is up to everyone involved to make health and safety our #1 priority.